All right. Hello, guys. This is Jamie and my co-host Jason here. We're here for 905 Radio's YouTube podcast show. So please check out 905radio.com and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us get our subscribers up and everything like that. And so we are here to do a little quick. We're gonna do a little quick news update, and then we're gonna talk about some draft stuff since that's coming up. That's the next big thing that's coming up pretty soon. We're just gonna run through this really quickly. So today, officially, 49ers have announced that Trent Williams has officially signed his deal. So that's all official from the team. We got. Yeah, that's awesome. So relieved that happened because I think that was going to. Because I feel like that was definitely going to change their plans in the draft if they weren't able to get him back. Yeah. Next bit. Earlier this week, Jaquiski Tartt, safety, officially back on, I believe, a 1-year deal, which is really great. Keeps the continuity of the safeties back. And he's always been really good, so I think that's great.
I was scared we were going to lose him to the Jets.
Yeah. I'm surprised we haven't lost more players to the Jets because I believe the Jets had a lot of cap room. So it's going to be
Well, their defense wasn't bad. So, but they could definitely, you take some of Tartt's ability, that definitely can upgrade it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Next bit, we have signed defensive lineman. I believe I've seen him in a Carolina Panthers uniform. So I think he was from the Panthers.
Yep.
Not 100% sure. Zach, how do you say his name? Zach Neer?
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
Zach Neer?
Yeah. Defensive lineman. So that's a good boost for depth for the defensive line. So I think that's a pretty solid move.
He's starting material. So I'm kind of curious what we're going to do with him. Do they, put Armstead out as trade bait somewhere?
Do you think he's an Armstead-like player? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think he's as fast as Armstead per se, but I think he's definitely someone that we could. Like I said, I think he had higher PFF grades than Armstead and Kinlaw last year.
Oh wow! Okay.
So
that's interesting.
Like I said, he's an easy day one starter. So I'm kind of a little shocked at that. He's great to have in rotation. Just a little shocked that we actually picked him up if we have that much faith in Armstead.
Yeah, in 2019, our biggest asset was just the rotative line. We had so much depth at that position that the team was able to rotate players in and out, and so nobody was forced out there when they were too tired or whatever. And it was good, kept everybody fresh and everything.
I'm always down for more defensive line. I'm always down for that.
Yeah. Next bit, real quick. Safety, Tavon Wilson. He was originally from the Indianapolis Colts. He was signed. Interesting move because I believe he was officially announced before they announced Tartt's signing. So everybody thought that maybe he was going to replace Tartt or at least be depth at that position. But I think it's a pretty good move. I think it's good to have. I think this year they're really emphasizing we need to get as much good players in at the depth position because of how bad the injuries were last year. So I think they're trying to make sure that they have a good feeling on that front, I believe.
Yeah, for sure. And Tartt and Ward have had issues over their career. So having somebody like Wilson who could probably just step in and, play that position, I foresee him with the way things go with, Ward, especially Ward with his injuries. Wilson's probably going to end up starting 3+ games this year just off of past history with how Ward is. So, like I said, I like the pickup.
Yeah, I like it too. And then we have, also we have our other co-host Jimmy is coming in. Just popped in. Let me add him real quick.
Jimmy,
hello.
What up, Jimmy?
How are you doing?
What up? All right, all right. I'm actually headed to the gym, believe it or not.
Hey,
Oh yeah,
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. But y'all invited, so I'm here joining. How's
cool.
my fellow Niner faithful doing?
another day, another dollar, brother.
I hear
Yep,
that. I hear
doing
that.
good, hanging in there. Do you have any thoughts on any of the previous news? We were just going through some of the signings. Do you have any thoughts on like Tart or Trent coming back or anything like that? Anything you want to talk about on that front before we move on?
Definitely when it comes to Tart, I mean that guy's an animal. Like he personally said, I hope he unleashes. I hope the new defensive coordinator unleashes him and allows him
Mm-hmm.
to blitz more.
12 blitzes a game was his quote. I like that one.
Exactly. I mean, I think that's going to be a high impact in the game and give him his versatility and expose and show the league his versatility if they utilize him like that. And when it comes to Trent Taylor, I'm excited to see what we're going to do with our draft picks now. Because if we get another solid left tackle or another solid guard, nice and young, I mean, our O line is going to be magnificent for years and years to come.
Yep.
I
We'll get into that later.
yeah. Um yeah. And so next bit of news, I don't know if we talked about this last week, I'm just gonna throw it in there real quick to make sure we do cover it. DJ Jones has been re-signed to, I believe, a 1-year deal as well. More depth for the D line, which I think is excellent. He's a really solid player, rotational player. So I'm glad he's back too.
Yep. Like I said, we keep talking about that
Yeah.
depth on the rotation, on that D line rotation. Just get people in and out, keep them fresh, keep that pressure up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was our biggest strength on our defense in 2019. It's just our defensive line being able to sustain pressure and just be really, really good for most of the season. So I think that's what they're trying to redo this season too. It
Oh,
looks like,
yeah.
yeah. And then one last little resign. Throw this in here. Dante Johnson has resigned. Um, I don't know. He keeps getting cut and then coming back, so I don't know. But at least he knows the system. So if he has to be thrown in there, at least like it's somebody
Plug and
that
play.
they knows the system. Yeah. So I think that's good too. Um,
I've got,
I don't think it's as
familiar.
flashy as the other stuff, but yeah,
Yeah. Well, I
yeah.
remember,
All
in
right.
2019, we probably had when it comes to overall depth on the roster, top to bottom, we might have been missing, quote unquote, superstars at quite a few positions, but no one could touch us when you look at total depth and talent across the entire,
Mm-hmm.
the entire roster. So the deeper it
Yeah.
goes, the better it gets, kind of thing. So that sounds horrible.
Love the
Yeah.
eagerness that they keep bringing fresh legs back in. DJ Jones is huge. Fresh legs, like you guys were saying, is key. I think in
Yep.
any defense, having that consistent pressure, and that's the whole thing is consistency. I think that's what that hurt us the most is that we couldn't have that consistency because of injured players, other people stepping in, having to play a major role, but they didn't have the backup to sit there
Mhm.
and bring that fire. So, that's why
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud to see that the Niners are bringing a lot of our old players back, re-signing and keeping the glue together. Just keeping the foundation together and making sure that they roll with it.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, I believe that's all the updated news that has come out over the last week or so. We'll definitely keep you posted and everything else breaks. But we'll just see what happens. So now we're gonna move over and we're gonna talk a little bit about the draft. I think we should talk about what you guys think the team should do with the first pick that we have. If we should trade back, pick up more picks. If there's a position you think the team should target, and then stuff like that, I think would be a good starting point for the draft. And then we'll just kind of go through there. So, Jason, you want to start off? Do you have some thoughts?
Sure. I think especially with the signings that we've got, bringing pretty much, all these players back for the most part, sitting
Mm-hmm.
at number 12, we can practically do whatever we want. It is wide
Mm-hmm.
open. And excuse me, we can move up, move down, just take the best available player.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing a lot of PFF drafts online, just
Mm-hmm.
checking them out and everything like that. And as you know how it is sometimes with the draft, randomness does happen. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen like Kyle Pitts fall to us, which I don't think is going to happen. The tight end slash wide receiver out of Florida, he's fallen
Mm-hmm.
to us. I mean, we could wait, maybe like get a Chris Farley, cornerback. I mean, Surtain's probably going, in that. I We have so many options, so it's just depending on what we want right now. Do we want, do we go after a quarterback top at the top of the list, or do we
Mm-hmm.
get a top tier defensive end, top tier, one of the top tier defensive or offensive line? It's
Yeah.
literally open for anything right now. A lot of the drafts I'm doing, Slater from Northwestern, their tackle, he's a tackle and guard, can play either. Falls to us.
Okay.
If we put him at 12, I am completely happy.
I mean,
It's
that bet the line would be great. Just and then having somebody to learn who is in a position where maybe they don't have to start right away and can have the time to kind of learn the system. Because I think some players really need uh, just the time to kind of get acclimated into like the NFL and the seasons and all that stuff,
yeah.
and kind of like get time. Um, some players they can just go automatically in. There's some I feel like that they need that time.
Mm-hmm.
But I would be thrilled at that. I know we've made some big moves on the O line so far, like where we signed Trent, we picked up Alex Mack for the center. So like our O line is in a much better position than I feel like it was last season. But we'll just see what they decide to do. If they feel like they need to go after the guard slash tackle from where? From Northwestern.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with that too. I mean, it's not the flashy pick that I think fans want.
Yeah.
But I think it's something that I could definitely see the team maybe looking into just for insurance, especially with all the injuries last season. Got to think that like that's got to be something that's on their mind a little bit. Like we need to have backup plans for situations in case stuff happens. Yeah. Jimmy, do you have any thoughts of what the team should do at number 12?
I think, to be honest, I hope they just slow down on their picks. Our first picks have been kind of iffy in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they address an issue that's gonna be resolved for a long time. I've always been a fan of interior linemen personally.
Mm-hmm.
Playing high school sports here in Texas, I know how the importance of having an interior line, whether it's defense or offense. And I love the fact that the Niners invested into their defensive line for several years. That's why we're in the
Mm-hmm.
position that we were defensively. Um, and then, and as much as I hate to admit this, but the Cowboys at one point they invested in their offensive line year over year, and
Yeah.
that was very impressive on their behalf. But still, Cowboys always will suck, even if I live here in Texas. And with that being said, I just hope they do address, whether it's the quarterback, whether it's the receiver position, whether it's like you said, we can go in so many directions. And I believe if we can get more picks, by trading back a little bit, I think Kyle Shanahan, they can make that educated decision and develop young players. That's one thing that our coaching staff is great, is developing
Mhm.
players. And regardless of who they pick, I know it's going to be a great, a great addition. Even as not horrific as Solomon Thomas was as a draft pick, but he didn't come up to par. He did fill in the void, and he did help us out on certain downs, and he did his job to the
Mhm.
best of his ability with whatever was going on in his personal life. So, kudos to Kyle Shanahan and his coaching staff to molding players regardless of what situation. So I'm open to anything in a nutshell. I would personally like interior lineman.
Mhm.
I just like the big body presence, especially with the way that the NFC West is stacking up on defense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a deep draft, like on multiple positions, especially for linemen, especially on the back end of the draft. It's a deep draft to getting, maybe not top tier, going to play day one, start game one kind of players, but you can get someone like a Creed Matthews, who's from Oklahoma, arguably, one of the best centers in college last year. Have him sit behind Mac for a year. Learn from someone like Mac would be amazing for his career.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
for
can also,
sure.
What's his name? I think it's Luke Matthews from the Matthews family. I mean, he's got that pedigree already. He knows how to play football. The guy was probably born playing football. There's pickups like that really late in the round. We're not getting Sewell. If somehow Penny Sewell drops to us at number 12, somebody's made the weirdest draft decisions of all time. There should be no way he drops to us at 12.
Yeah.
Because he's day one starter. Oh yeah.
Okay.
He's the day one starter. Easily the best, the best offensive lineman in this draft, but I don't see him falling to us.
Yeah. I've been thinking about this a little bit. Not a lot, but I've been thinking because there's been a lot of talk about the quarterback position, obviously, and been thinking about if they're going to go this direction, especially after everybody wanted Deshaun Watson, but it looks like that's not happening just because of the stuff that's going on with him right now. I don't think anybody's going
to. Off that
belt.
Yeah, no one's going to touch him right now, unless some smoking gun that comes out and says everything was a
hoax,
a lie. But I've heard it's because the lawyers, the Texans owner's neighbor or something like that. So unless something comes out, I don't see anybody touching Watson. I jumped off that, and I was leading that bandwagon. I've jumped off of that one now.
Yeah. I feel like I do think that they will want to rock with Jimmy this season. And I do, and I know that's, and I feel like that's a good move. On my part, I know it's not a popular opinion, especially this off season. Because I know everybody wanted him, was not feeling Jimmy, but I feel like he led us to a Super Bowl in 2019. I feel like and especially with a better O-line, with more time, getting him Brandon Ayuk that he didn't really get to play with last season because he got hurt when Brandon came back and stuff. So I don't even know. They were only, I think, on the field together for a couple of games at most. And then having Ayuk have a season under his belt, getting Debo back, Kittle back, I feel like there's a lot of potential. And I know everybody wants a strong arm, get down the field, the flashy plays, but I don't know. We'll just see what happens. I've been looking and seeing if maybe they would looking at what's the quarterback from Mac Jones.
Mac Jones from Alabama?
Yeah.
He's pretty much Jimmy.
Yes. That's what I was trying to look into. His
play style is because him and Jimmy are very similar in the fact that if you put talent around him, he'll drive the Ferrari. He just has to steer it. Okay. He does what I want Jimmy to do. Get the ball to your playmakers and let the playmakers make the plays.
Do the work, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, he's a high-end game manager. He has a much, a better deep ball than Jimmy does. Mm-hmm. But like I said, I would have no problem with Mac Jones. He's one of my favorites in this draft, especially if you want to keep going with the run-heavy offense and stuff like that. Mac Jones fits that mold. Have him hand it off. He'll make the smart plays, Mm-hmm. Let everybody else make the plays. Just don't make the stupid plays that Jimmy tends to make. Okay. That's my biggest issue, and if we can get a Jimmy-esque type player who's available, because that's my biggest issue with Jimmy. It's not necessarily the talent, which obviously he's lacking in certain spots, but Jimmy is not available. Yes, he was for one full season. He was good. Went to the Super Bowl. That's cool enough. He's missed more games than he's played in the Niners uniform and in his career. His injuries issues didn't start here. They started in New England. When
Yeah,
Brady
with the
was
shoulder.
suspended for 6 games, he got hurt in the second game with his shoulder and was out most of that season. So this is not Jimmy's injuries issues go way back farther than just with us. I'll ride
Okay.
with Jimmy, but he needs to stay healthy. But he
Yeah.
can't. He is yet to prove he can be relied on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
think
was just thinking about that. I feel like Mac Jones would be a player who, the quarterback who could be potentially be available at pick 12. Just based on like the teams in front of us, and then who would need a quarterback and who wouldn't, and what ones would go before him. So I was curious if that would be like a potential, like grab him, and then he sits behind Jimmy for a year, and then maybe they let him go next year. I don't know. It's uh, it's a wait and see thing. We'll just see what happens. Do you have any thoughts, Jimmy?
Yeah, I mean, just simply with when it comes to Jimmy G, it's numbers never lie, and I love that show as much as sometimes we do hate it. Numbers never lie. When he's on the field, we're a better squad, better team,
Mhm.
better performance. His QBR when he's on the field compared to the others, it's up top 10, top 5, I believe, in the NFL. Um, so the key factor is just keeping Jimmy healthy. Do I
Mhm.
believe that we need to make a transition for the future? I believe so. Durability is key. He's in a business. If he's not available, he's not going to get paid, or he's going to just make secondary money, even though he's under contract right now. Um, the best thing that I say that we can do is address the quarterback issue in the draft. Give Jimmy G that competition in training camp. Reason being, one, you could use Jimmy G during the season to promote his trade value in the future, if anything, especially going
Mhm.
back to New England. Second, you're gonna have someone train under Jimmy G, and you're already
Mhm.
building the interior line. So if he can't perform with this outstanding line that we have now, then means get out of town, find somewhere else, do what you got to do, Jimmy. To make yourself succeed and have someone else stand in that pocket with that amazing line that we have now. So this O line addressing that issue of the O line is going to be huge. His numbers should be the best of his career this coming year with the O line that he has.
He should
I
be
hope
good.
so. I hope so. I hope that this O line could help him stay healthy. He stays healthy. And it's a much better season for him. So that way, even if he is traded down the line, it's in more positive terms than how it is now. Because he did, like you said, Jason, he is a play, because his record doesn't lie. We win more football games when he is on the field, when he is behind center. Like, I think his record's like 20 something and like 6 or something like that. So we if we need to win football games, if we want to get back to the Super Bowl, we have to, like, that's just a thing. Obviously. So, like, I don't know. We'll just kind of see what happens. I just wanted to talk about that because I know it'd be weird if we just like didn't see if they maybe take a quarterback at that position. I personally don't know. I feel like if Mac Jones is there, maybe, because if he is like if he is a quarterback like Jimmy, because I haven't looked too much at him, but Jimmy seems like the kind of quarterback Kyle likes. So if Kyle sees somebody like that he might want, then maybe. But we'll just see what happens.
I'm even interested in Rosen.
I
Yeah,
know. I kind of want to see what he can do a little bit. Like I was actually kind of like, oh, this is an interesting move, picking up Rosen off, what was it, waivers and stuff,
Well,
and
yeah, last season that's because we're
yeah,
two seconds away from having Juice play quarterback.
yeah,
But Rosen's kind of been screwed over. He got screwed over in Arizona. They basically told him
mm-hmm,
after a couple games, "Hey, we're tanking to get the overall number one pick."
mm-hmm,
He goes to Miami. They're like, "Hey, we're tanking to get the number one overall pick." And so I don't know. He's like, I wasn't high on him per se coming out of college, but mechanically wise, he had the best ball coming out of college that year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. There was,
yeah,
he was the best, mechanical quarterback that was there available. So I mean, maybe there's something there. Right now, he's probably just broken mentally. You know.
I mean, he's had a rough start.
Is
Like,
there?
I don't know if a quarterback I've seen recently that's had as tough of a break as he has, just moving from team to team and like not even like you get drafted, then immediately the team's like, yeah, we're gonna tank for the number one overall pick. That this guy's coming out, and like immediately get sent to another team who says the exact same thing. I would be interested to see because I think you're right. I do believe I've heard somebody say that he has he like mechanically he was the best coming out of college out of everybody that year. So I would be interested to see if he would be able to run the system and see how he would do. But maybe in preseason we'll see him a little bit probably. So yeah.
We'll see him a lot in preseason.
Yeah. You think
Any
he'll
word
be
on
what?
Any word on Joe Flacco? I know I read some news that they brought him in for a interview or whatnot.
He left town.
He
I
left
wasn't
town.
against it.
He came in, then he left like that day. I don't know. I haven't heard anything.
Well, the reason I bring
Go
him up is the fact just his experience. You know, not that he would have been great, but just his experience, his QB IQ. You know, and having another senior presence. We saw what we did with 2 rookie backup quarterbacks. Unfortunately, it didn't come up to par. But yeah, Josh Rosen is one of the, like you said, he never really had a fair opportunity. And with Jimmy G's durability, if he's not there, I mean, he's gonna have a fair opportunity here with us. We have the weapons. Our run game is gonna be insane once again, and you know our playmakers are growing each and every day. So I do care who's going to be back there, but I think Kyle Shanahan is going to be confident in whomever's back there and putting us in a winning situation.
It's funny you bring up Flacco. Remember when Flacco won a Super Bowl? Who carried him? His running game and his defense, exact same thing.
Yep.
He did what Jimmy didn't do in the playoffs. He got hot.
Yeah. That was a crazy year, and that was a crazy Super Bowl. Son of a
bitch. Like I said, he hit the path would have been almost the same when you think about it. You know, he had a number one defense, one of the best rushing games in the league that year. Pretty much carried him. It's just during the playoffs, Flacco got hot.
Yeah,
you know, and then, unlike Jimmy, we shut him down for the playoffs because we're like, nope, we're not gonna let you do anything. Just keep handing the ball off.
Yep.
I do think that is something that they need to let Jimmy, even if he misses them, they need to let him throw a little bit. So that way he just gets used to it and he just does the throws, even if he misses a couple, you know? Because I feel like shutting him down like they did in the playoffs that year, I think that hurt him in the long run because then he didn't have he just wasn't used to it. He was just used to handing off the ball or doing like the short passes. Because maybe if he would have thrown some in the playoffs, maybe he hit Sanders in the end zone for that touchdown. Maybe. I don't know.
You know what's crazy is like I'm crazy story. I'm training in karate right now with my son, right? And Master Han, one of the senseis or whatnot, he always tells his kids, you know, difference between a good person and an expert is just this much, you know, meaning putting in the effort. So at that point, you know, what if he got out 2 minutes, 2 minutes longer during warm up, or sat there and threw into trash cans, improve his accuracy, you know, did some more route running with with his team a little bit more, just 2 more minutes, you know, put in 1 more minute extra. What I'm trying to say is just get that muscle repetition, you know, like he should have hit that pass. He should have, he's a professional. He gets paid to train. And I believe he could have, you know, he could have won us that Super Bowl. But if he would have put the effort in a little bit more. So just training, and I hope he trains his ass off this year. I don't know if we're allowed to cuss on this. I'm sorry if I did, but I hope he trains, and I hope he shuts all of us up because we all have something negative to say about him, and we all have something positive to say about him. at the end of the day, he's gonna go out and he's gonna do what he has to do for himself and his family. And yes, he's gonna sit there and play football and win games for the 49ers. But if that jersey changes colors next year, he's gonna do the exact same. So this is more of a going at him as a person, like, hey, I need you to put in a little bit more effort. You're getting paid to play ball.
Mm-hmm.
Make those passes and put in the work. You know,
Yeah.
train with Kittle, do something.
He hits that ball, and this conversation is completely different right now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And his injuries disappear.
Yeah, all of a
Yeah.
sudden, he's never gotten hurt. Everything goes away. He hits that pass. This is off season's different. The whole war, the Civil War, and the
Yeah.
Jimmy,
His
and
girlfriend's
everything goes
changed.
away. Yeah, everything changes. Like,
Oh, man.
25 million. All you had to do was hit one ball. That's all we had to do.
Real.
You had one job.
So I have one draft question for you guys. Do you have a draft crush? Do you have somebody in the draft that you want the team to be able to pick up? Anything like that?
I've got a couple, to be honest with you.
Okay, go for it.
If I was, let's see, on the offensive side,
Okay.
one that happened actually today. We're not going to pick him up, but Najee Harris, the running back out of Alabama. I don't know if you guys have heard what happened to him. His flight got delayed, and even though he's graduate, he's been off campus, and he wasn't participating in the Alabama pro day that they had today. So his flight got canceled. He drove 12 hours overnight, no sleep, to be with his teammates in Alabama on their pro day and show support. I'm like, can we just get him? Like,
wow, that's hard.
all of a sudden, like,
That's cool.
just that. I'm like, I want that on this team. I don't think we're going to draft him. One, you don't draft running backs that high,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a decent backfield to begin with. But something like that, that's what I would love to have. Defensively, I wouldn't mind getting. God, there's so many cornerbacks. We can go down to like J.C. Horn from South Carolina. He's a bigger cover guy, and we have quite a few big receivers in our division. Get somebody young that can cover Metcalf for years to come. I'm okay with that because Metcalf is going to be a problem. At that size, he's always going to be a problem. So get somebody big who can stand up to him.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind somebody like that. My personal thing for pick 12 or in the first round if we trade back, so get a corner. I mean, we haven't drafted a corner in the first round, and I think that's something. I know the team's not known to do that, but I think it'd be because you're right. Metcalf is going to be a problem. We have DeAndre Hopkins now to worry about, and they picked up AJ Green. Even though I know he's injured all the time, he's still big. So like if he happens
40.
to be, yeah, I know. I don't know, just
all
big.
He did was raise the team age of Arizona by like 5 years.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just you're right. It would be nice to have somebody. I mean, I'm talking more about Metcalf though. Somebody to be on Metcalf because we struggled hardcore against him last year. And Metcalf's just going to get better as longer he's with the team. So, I would like to see corner. I don't know if they'll go that way, huh?
It's a good deep draft for cornerbacks.
Yeah.
And we didn't mention Patrick Surtain from Alabama. Him and Farley are arguably 1A and 1B. So
just see what happens.
As far as dressing a particular crush or anything like that, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'm not gonna come here and BS anyone. I have not followed college sports as thoroughly this past season, or really kept up with the draft. However, I do have positions that I'm in love with. Obviously, O-line, D-line. And then my second would be a hybrid, a receiver type cornerback. Like you said, long, lengthy, kind of like the Patrick Sherman type, a long wingspan, keep up with these, with all the enhancements that happened in the NFC West. All these receivers coming out. These guys can jump. Hopkins can jump. It's only gonna be Metcalf. He doesn't need to jump. It's gonna be a very key battle for us
Well, look
to
up
make.
if you want somebody like that. Look up. I'm gonna butcher this guy's name. Iafutu Melufanu. His brother is actually on the team right now. His brother's first name is Obi, and then he's a cornerback coming out of Illinois. Check him out. If you're looking for someone that's a hybrid that could cover those
Yes.
guys, who's freakishly big, he's one that can probably possibly fill that role for you.
Yeah, and that would be, one, a statement to the NFC West. Understand that we're not gonna let them run over us like that, and we're just gonna
Mhm.
kill them in the trenches. That's what we need. We just need them to stand there for at least 5 seconds, 6 seconds. Even though that's eternity, but
Yeah.
that's the goal. That's the goal when it comes to D line.
I mean, I think with the Rams getting Stafford, it's going to be interesting to see that team this year and just see, because I feel like it's going to be a little bit of a different speed for them this year, a little bit. Like, I feel like Stafford is going to be, he's a little bit more like, he'll be able to get passes off a little bit better than Goff will. So that's going to be interesting. So
Yeah, he'll bring that vet leadership and presence to them. He's got a much quicker release than Goff, and he's a lot better than Goff.
yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else you guys want to talk about with the draft or just anything in general? I was kind of all on my list is just talking a little bit about the draft. I mean, me personally, I haven't looked too much into the draft. I honestly have I think it's the 49ers in a great position because they can kind of do whatever they want. They could trade back, they could trade up. They're in a good spot. I think. So it's just going to be interesting to see what they actually, because the organization never does what I think people expect them to do sometimes. So just be interesting to see. So
I'm actually
go ahead.
I'm actually pretty impressed with the salary cap space that the Niners still have. I read 20 million still, even after the
20 million this
signings.
morning.
So wow, that kudos to the front office on making it happen. Addressing issues like D Ford, like we were all pissed off about it. It's not a lie. He's just sitting there. He was getting stimulus checks before stimulus checks became a thing. Like.
yeah.
And I'm glad that he came to his senses and he was like, you know what, this team's paid me enough. Time for me to show up and restructured. And it shows
Only if we get a
leadership.
quarterback to do that, huh?
Yeah, right. Well,
yeah.
Jimmy O is not no quarterback, but I know Jimmy G is.
Yeah.
No, but I mean,
if we'd even be a better spot if Jimmy was like, yeah, let's restructure, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But at least they were able to get D4 too, and that definitely helped a lot. Yeah. And we've been able to we're in pretty good shape because now we'll have enough money to cover the draft class coming in and maybe have a little bit of wiggle room in case we need to make some moves during the season and whatnot.
So far, this offseason has gone a lot better than I thought. I thought we were going to lose one of between Juice, Trent, Vernette. I figured at least one of those three were going to be gone. And like I said, we've brought everybody back. We still got people on the outline that may or may not be back. But overall, I agree with everything that they've done so far. And I said everything is set up for the draft that we can pretty much do whatever we want.
Yeah. And I think that's the position the team wanted to be in. That way they have flexibility. They're not held to a certain thing. Like if we hadn't gotten Trent Williams back, then they'd already be like, yeah, they're going O-line in the first round. Like that's where they're going to look at. So it gives them flexibility in the first round. Now they have time to like bounce back, even if jump forward if they want to, if there's somebody they really want high. And yeah, I mean, I think they're in a good spot. What were you going to say, Jimmy?
Weatherspoon. He's still unsigned, correct?
No, he's in Seattle now.
Oh, he signed today?
I got to deal with him up here now.
Oh, man. Well, at least he could blow some coverages up there, though.
He's
I live
probably
up here
happy
in
he doesn't have
Seattle,
to
and
play
everybody's
against
asking
DK
me, "Oh,
anymore.
everybody up here always say, oh, so how good is our new quarterback?" I'm like, well, expect lots of blown coverages. Well, to be honest, I thought like this because they lost Griffin to the Jaguars, their cornerback, and I was like, look, he probably has a higher ceiling, but his floor is a lot lower. When he gets
Yep.
bad, he gets bad. I mean, he's gonna make an amazing play here or there, but if he loses
Yeah.
confidence from one blown play here or there, don't expect him to do anything for about 6 games.
Yeah,
You know?
that was
Yeah.
one guy that I was kind of confused that everyone wanted to bring back. Like reading different social media postings, like bring him
It's because
back
his
and all this.
ceiling is high. That's why.
I don't care how high the ceiling is. I can't touch the moon.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said,
Can't touch the
yeah,
sun, so fuck it.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
When he's on, he's on. But like kind of like with the whole thing with Jimmy and consistency, he's not consistent.
Yeah.
So
I just remember seeing, like you said, a lot of blown coverages. I
yeah,
don't know
there's a lot of those.
I don't know where his head was at half the time. Misdirection, just going.
And
Um,
he lost me when it was the game we had Brian Allen start when we picked him up like
Uh,
Saturday night before the game, and he should have started, and he waited until Allen gave up like 3 touchdowns, and then all of
yeah,
a sudden he's like, oh, now I'm good to play. He lost me, and then after that I was like, just get off,
yeah,
be gone.
yeah.
and I'm pretty sure he's a hell of an athlete, and like you said, the ceiling's high for him, and God be
Oh,
with him,
yeah,
and I hope he gets his head out of his ass, but gets his
yeah,
head back in his ass when he plays the Niners, because
yeah. Just
he knows we're
two
gonna bring
games
it
a
to
year.
him. He knows we're gonna bring it to him, and he knows he's gonna have to tackle Kittle. I'm sure he's not gonna like that.
Yeah.
He's probably just happy he doesn't have to play DK anymore. He's like, I don't know.
No, he might get
But
cut. Practice. Get him.
we'll see. I mean, he maybe a good change of scenery is what he needed. Who knows? It was
Well,
definitely. I
Reed's
feel
doing good
like
up there.
he definitely needed. It was definitely a mental thing, though. I feel like with him,
Yeah.
because I feel like he had the physical tools to do everything, but it was the mental stuff was really hard for him.
Yeah.
Um,
Quarterbacks seem to have a short memory, and he dwelled way too long on that one screw up.
yeah,
He made one screw up, and like I said, he couldn't get over it for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man, you're a cornerback. You're gonna get burned from time to time. There's nothing you can do to stop that.
yeah, yep. Well, guys, unless there's anything else you want to talk about, I think we should wrap it up.
No,
I think we covered everything. I mean, that we talked about the news and stuff, and talked a little bit about the draft. So I think that's pretty good.
I'll come
All
in
right.
next
probably have
on
a
a little
draft
more.
where we go a lot more detail at some point. Go position by position.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I'll educate myself for the next show, guys, and have some more stats. And trust me, I have a lot of different perspectives and the more Niner fans, especially living here in Texas. Oh man,
I don't know who's got it worse, you or me. You in Texas or me in Seattle?
I think I have it worse, to be honest.
I
Like,
don't know, man. I gotta
it,
deal with the 12s.
true, but Texas, the word the 12th man came from Texas,
True, that is very true.
so like I don't even know why they adapted that. But being here, they're just stuck in the '90s. They're just stuck in the '90s. So at least Seattle won something. But it feels like I'm in the episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air every day, every football season, and you know what the outcome's gonna be. So,
Oh
but
man.
It's funny up here. I've been here since '97. Nobody knew what the football team even existed until Russell Wilson showed up, and
yeah,
they're like,
no
"No,
one.
no, 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 you are wrong. Don't stop." Like I had a girlfriend who I was with for a while, and she hated football in general, and we broke up. And all of a sudden, like on our Facebook, she's posting how she loves the Seahawks and this. And I'm like, look, woman, we lived together for like 4 years. I've been in your underwear drawer, seen all your clothes. There was never a Seahawk thing ever. And now she has a billion Seahawk things. I'm like that, and it's just stuff like that you see here. It's like, come on, you have no clue. But there is a difference. I'll give one difference. There is a difference between 12s and Hawk fans. I can fuck with Hawk fans because they actually, there's the true fans of their team. But these Johnny Come Lately 12s, man, they just drive me insane.
It's hilarious seeing a 12. There's a 12 Charger running around. Seattle decked out everything here in Texas. They even started a youth football Seahawks. And
Wow.
they're extreme, and we're a military town and everything here in El Paso. Every time I see that car, it's like I see a little piece of Seattle come off of it every time. And they're honestly, like you said, there's a difference between a Hawk fan and a 12 fan. Difference is, Hawk fan actually was there with Jim Hassel, or was it Jim Hasselback,
Matt Hasselbeck.
or who? What was it?
Matt Hasselbeck.
Matt Hasselback. So Matt Hasselback and Sean Alexander, like those are the players that I personally remember. That's when Seattle actually was somewhat of a threat when they changed their color jerseys.
Yep.
I was like, wow, they got inspired by some jersey colors. But being here and seeing Seattle fans is hilarious. Seeing Cowboy fans, and believe it or not, here in El Paso, Texas, there's a ginormous Niner fan base. There's about two or three different clubs out here, and we all get along and get together at Johnny Cash Beer Garden, watch the game. So if y'all are ever out here in El Paso, please, reach out and we'll set you up.
Cool. Well, thank you both for joining me today. And remember, everybody who's listening, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you always get notifications for the show every week. We do a show every week at about 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Tuesdays. And make sure you click the bell so you don't miss anything. And check out our website, 905radio.com. And we also have podcasts, so make sure you search 905 Radio and you'll get subscribed to the podcast feed there. And that's it, guys. So, and thank you, Kim, for listening and always being here. She popped in a couple of comments, and she's excited about the O-line, and she just said hey. So thank you, Kim.
All right.
Sounds good.
God bless, guys. God bless.
Bye.
God bless. God bless. Take care. Thank you for having me.
Yep.
Let's go Niners!
Go Niners!